Hello, welcome to my little Quarantalk podcast. Today we have Maxwell from the legendary Z100.
Yeah, and I'm like legit in the studio. You've been here before, but I'm in the studio today. So
I know
you
it's
caught
so
good.
weird to be like virtually in the studio.
Yeah,
Um, so how much have you been broadcasting from in studio versus at home, or have you been broadcasting at home at all?
I've been doing a little bit of both. Well, first off, thanks for letting me be a part of this. This is super
Oh
cool.
my God, yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm so
Yeah,
happy to have you.
I was stoked when you asked me. So, but yeah, to get like into it, it's been weird because I have done a little bit of both. Like now, I've transitioned to becoming like one of the only Z100 DJs that's allowed in the building. So I've been coming in here more frequently than I had been at home, but I was broadcasting from home for 2 weeks at the beginning of March, I guess. Yeah, March 1st. I had already been at home, so I was getting a little stir crazy and decided to come in here every once in a while. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah, that's what. But I'm
Uh,
pumped up. I'm staying safe.
Staying safe in the studio. So as a night show host, how different is the studio right now, like after hours compared to just a normal day?
Oh my God. Well, first off, you've been here before, and
Oh
even
yeah.
when there had been people in the studio when we had been operating on a normal working scenario,
Mm.
it's quite chill at night, and
Oh yeah.
it's me and my interns. But now that it's been this crazy people working from home, broadcasting from home, we're in the middle of the craziest pandemic of our and even our grandparents probably lifetimes or
Oh my
whatever.
God,
Uh,
yeah.
Even more empty. So it's kind of interesting. I've made friends with a box of rubber gloves and masks, and I also out the studio. I'm looking through the glass window over here. Have a giant box of snacks. So it is
Oh,
like completely.
beautiful.
So it's different, and it's challenging, but at the same time, you wanna hang tight for a break. You want to hear me talk to people?
Absolutely.
Let me see. I'll pan the. I'll pan.
Beautiful. Let's see you
Yeah,
work
you're
some
like
magic.
the full on. I'm saying bye because actually I'm here in studio, but Brady is broadcasting from home. So
Okay.
bloom, 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 bloom. Z100, New York's #1 hit music station. I got my friend Olivia. She's on Skype right now. We're doing like a little podcasty thing, doing some FaceTime, social distancing at its best. And that's what we do around here. We're trying to make sure that we remain safe. I got my gloves on. I'm going to hop back onto this chat, and then we're going to give it over to Brady, broadcasting from his crib in a few on Z. I got everything. There we go. Yeah. So
I love it. I love it.
right, let me bring this back over here. But yeah, so it's quite different. I had spent 2 weeks to get back to it, broadcasting from home, 2.5 weeks broadcasting from home, and since kind of transitioned into coming into here just so I can make sure that I do some of the things that we need to make sure we have a person in here do. So yep.
Yeah,
I'm home.
absolutely. So, with having to kind of go back and forth, being one of the only people in studio, has your content been forced to change at all, or has it stayed pretty consistent?
It's crazy. Like it's
Is
really
it?
because we have each become, as I'm talking, probably DJs across the country.
Oh, yeah.
You get the chance to talk to more people too. You're going to notice we become a little bit more hyper focused on how to communicate, not only more concisely and precisely, but being a little bit less, especially with the top 40 format. We're all about kind of games and being, funny and having,
Oh,
still
yeah.
not losing that. Obviously, you can't lose that. That's what people come to us to kind of check out of the reality and kind of escape and be in a little bit more of a fun environment. But there's a lot more empathy. I would hope that my counterparts do the same, jocks all across the country. We're in a crazy situation now where we have to definitely make sure that we're delivering, really like intelligent, informative. Make sure you know what you're talking about before you spew out any type of information to anybody through the airwaves.
Mhm.
A lot more empathy, fewer calls, but the calls that we do take are, usually from people who are out doing the right thing. They're out because they're going to a job that's an essential, an essential job, or you're talking to people about the struggles that they're going with. So yeah, the content for me as a night guy on Z100 has always been about let's just keep the momentum going and let's have some fun and let's kind of escape. Where I still try to do that, but there are a lot more of those kind of moments where I'm like, hey, we're going to be okay. I need to focus down, and I needed to, you know, kind of have a serious conversation every once in a while. So it's different. It's way different. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely no, because I mean, the last couple of times that I've been up at Z, it's definitely been a nice little like escape for me to just kind of like I forget about everything else that's going
Yeah.
on in my life, and I'm just like hanging out with you in the moment, listening to your show live from in the studio, and now it's just a completely different.
That's what I'm still trying to do. You know, I definitely still get the opportunity to talk to artists. I definitely get the opportunity to be fun and, you know, and to definitely be a lot more lighthearted, you know, when I'm delivering some of those messages. But I just have to become a lot more just diligent and a lot more, you know, top of mind, and really make sure I truly understand, like, hey, the way you communicate with people is a lot different now than just, hey, let's have a good time, because not everybody's,
Oh yeah.
you know, and as long as I can kind of do my best and also just be myself. Listen, I'm just as scared as everybody else. I'm as freaked out. I'm as anxious. I'm as nervous. And I just let that kind of come through. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So how has it been interviewing artists from, you
It's
know,
it's great.
social
It's
distancing?
been this. I've had like Skype interviews, and I've had a chance to do like Zoom interviews with
Mhm.
Bozzy and Lauv, and like everything's been happening on Instagram Live. It's been crazy. Have you noticed like how many
Oh
celebrities
yeah.
on IG Live now?
Yes. No,
It's
it's crazy. They're all trying to move their content instead of live interviews to that.
it's been kind of cool because having spoken to Fletcher and
Mhm.
Louis Capaldi, like it's been really cool to be in Fletcher's parents' house or Louis Capaldi's, like his bedroom, like what. So it's like they're inviting us into their atmosphere, and it makes it way more laid back and way
Mm.
more just kind of chill. Um,
Yeah.
but also it's been tough because I don't want to conduct like formal interviews when we're doing those kind of things, because I mean it's just not the right time for me to be asking, you know, so you know what's going on with you know, this new music. And I mean I want to at least give those artists the opportunity to just be humans that have
Hmm.
the same feelings that we're dealing with too. I mean, Fletcher and I were talking about just how freaking scary it is and how anxious she's feeling now and how difficult it is to create and to do what she loves to do. And that's just natural human reaction. And for me to be able
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
talk to her and have that kind of a chill ass conversation like that is really cool. And same goes for Bozzy. And just to, you know, to see what Trevor Daniel is eating, and he's like so excited to get out of his house and go to Whataburger. Like, you know what I mean? Like just regular things like that. I mean, everybody is human. Everyone is dealing with the same thing, no matter how big a celebrity you are to, you know, how regular or everyday human being you are. We're all, this is a great equalizer right here. So
Yeah, no, I love to see it, and I've been kind of keeping up with all of that stuff from, you
yeah,
know, all corners of the country, and it's so
yeah,
cool to see how everybody's doing the virtual interviews now.
yep,
Um, so were at any point you like forced to broadcast from home? Like, was it?
yes. I was. Now, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if I kind of told you, but you and I, we follow each other on social media. I was in Italy. I was
Mm,
in
yeah,
Milan,
all
Venice.
of that.
I was there bouncing around the city prior to all this really happening here in the States. So, upon my return to the United States, which was on March 1st, it was that Monday. From that point on, I was told and asked, you know, hey, we want you to stay at home. We're going to send, as you've been seeing a lot of the other DJs across America, pretty much everyone now has some sort of an at home broadcast system.
Hmm.
I kind of was like patient zero for iHeart Radio because there was no, I don't think that there was any other DJ on any of our stations, on any format, who had just came back from Venice and Milan, Italy,
Oh
that
yeah.
in quarantine. So I think that I was like one of the first. I was kind of like the guinea pig for those first two weeks. So I was, yeah, I was forced to do it from home. And at that moment, everyone was still here in the studio going about their business while I was away, and we had a board op in studio helping me out. We had some people that were kind of doing things, but now as we started to make this kind of a company wide policy, we've, I don't want to say perfected, but we've done dude, our engineers are, I'm not, our engineers are the shit, dude. They're so good. So they made it to where like now a board op doesn't have to be in the studio, and we can, do the broadcast from home. So, but I was forced for 2 weeks to stay there, and I'm glad I did it because
Oh yeah.
although I was healthy, I went to the doctor. I didn't get to do a corona test because there weren't none available. I didn't have any symptoms. My doctor told me, hey, if you don't have any symptoms, it's good that you're staying away and self-isolating. So I don't know if I was asymptomatic. I don't know if I carried the virus. I don't know if I did and I got through it. But now looking back, it was the best thing for me to do to stay away because we all share this one microphone. And if
Oh yeah.
I was talking on this microphone, I could have easily gotten Mo Bounce sick, and he could have gotten his kids. So it was a really amazing thing that I was able to stay home, stay away from the world for a little bit.
Absolutely, especially with that technology now. It's crazy that they can just send a little kit to your house and you're live on air from your bedroom.
I mean, Brady is about ready as we get ready here. He's about ready to go live from his apartment in Brooklyn through this radio station to the top of the Empire State Building to the world. And it's just like, it's the most insane thing. And that I can't believe it, but that's what's happening.
It's so cool to see. And that's why I'm so invested in, doing these interviews and like hearing all of what's going on.
Yeah.
So with that kind of technology, you tend to get incredibly creative on your social media. I love to watch all the stuff that you do. Has the social distancing given you more time to create and produce for your socials?
Yeah, it has. I think I mistakenly downloaded TikTok and got addicted like everybody else.
Me too.
I mean, that's just like what's happening. But it's fun. Yeah. And here's something that not a lot, I guess you'll get a little bit of an exclusive. We're developing some stuff. Yeah. With Z100, we're developing like an interactive game show, like to do on social media, I mean, so it's become this whole thing where it's unlocked a treasure trove of other opportunities for us as DJs to do like the most crazy, creative. Me, I've loved it. I kind of wish I had my interns or I had someone else around to help me while I'm going through this kind of like, this quarantine, just to help me create all these crazy things that are going on in my head. I'm trying to do my best. I'm no Liza Koshy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get it popping on my, on my
second though.
I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Liza, hit me up. I want to know some tips. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely sparked a whole new wow, man, I can do this this March Gladness bracket that I had going on my Instagram. Hey, let's see if we can develop this game show idea. And TikTok is crazy. Let's hop on some of these trends. Let's try to make some of these trends. Learn a new dance. I'm a savage, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, and I mean, I've even been able to get creative from the comfort of my own home instead of like, going out and doing all the big crazy travels, doing stuff like this. And it's so like,
it's the whole thing. And this is like one of the coolest things ever. I'll tell you, like what you've done now. And you and I, we mentioned this just a tiny bit before. It's just like you're adding another tool to your toolbox for when your opportunity is going to happen. I mean, we've mentioned that several times before, it is. So now this is just going to be another thing that's going to make you even more prepared for when the opportunity happens. I mean, so I think it's super important that you are taking advantage of, being able to, let's hop on Skype. Let's look how easy this is. I mean,
I know. I went out and I bought a $50 microphone from Target and hooked it up to my computer and I was like,
and that's all you need.
Yeah, I'm like, let's do something.
You're on it. You are on it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm trying, and I'm finally in a good mental place where I'm like, let's do a bunch of interviews just back to back. I'm ready for it.
You're kicking ass so far, so
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got
it. So with the social media topic, has the social distancing like given you more interaction on your socials?
Yeah, it has. It's definitely. I mean, I have a captivated, audience. I mean, we're all my screen time is way up. Like I know most people's
definitely
are way up. So it has. I've seen a spike. I know as a whole, like the radio station has really been able to see some successes. Other members of the team, they've all kind of been talking about how much more they're seeing their interactions go throughout whatever platform it is. Yeah, people are watching, which is another thing that's kind of, it's kind of, I want to say scary, but it's kind of, it's challenging to make sure that I'm not only entertaining people when I'm on the radio, the hundreds of thousands, the millions that are, but now we have another, okay, cool. If I can continue to do this, I can make sure I maintain some sort of communication and some sort of interaction through social media. So yeah, it's been fun to watch. Fun to watch
Yeah,
them grow. That's for sure.
definitely. I think you're doing a great job at both.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
So what is New York City like right now?
Empty.
Empty?
Butt naked. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some pictures, but from somebody who's actually commuting to work.
Yeah. I'll give you like kind of a real quick breakdown. I've used and a couple of other people have told me this also. They're like, wow, the city that never sleeps is finally taking a nap. And that is very true. My commute to and from here is very easy, which is another reason why I feel comfortable and confident with coming in, because it doesn't take me very long, and I'm not seeing anyone. I have a really, really short commute. But when I tell you, when I get on it's called the PATH train, which is the train that travels between New Jersey and New York City, not far from where I live. I'm only one stop, and on that train, today was one of, as I exit, I'm just kind of thinking, as I exited the train, I was one of maybe 6 people.
Wow.
On an entire subway. And if anyone knows anything about the subway system here, New York subway system is probably one of the best in the world, and it's probably one of the most occupied, and I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it's never only 7 people that get off.
Yeah, I was about to say a lot more than just,
more than just 7. So it's eerie. It's different. It's a good sign though, because that shows me that people are taking this serious, or some people are taking this serious, as I think everyone needs to be taking this serious.
Oh, absolutely.
But if there are only 7 people on this train, I'm okay with that, because that means that there are 100, or a couple of 100,000 who are staying at home and social distancing and doing the stuff that's going to help us get through this faster. So, but it is completely empty. Our street outside the radio station is normally one of the busiest, and I can walk down, I'm talking in the middle of the street, for 2 or 3 blocks without getting hit by a car. And that's not
no way.
I promise you, I'll take a video and I'll send it to you.
Please. Please. I mean, yeah, no, because I've seen just random pictures on Twitter, on people's Instagram stories, just of the empty streets. But I mean, I've seen right outside of the, Z100 studios. It's
pretty active.
You can't walk in the middle of the road without getting hit by a car. That's for sure.
I'll send you the video as soon as we get done here. I promise.
Oh, please. I will be including that in this, because that's crazy. Has the interaction with your listeners changed?
Yeah, it's definitely more on the social media side. Not a lot of people picking up the phone to call. We've taken it upon ourselves to be a little bit more responsible at Z100 and kind of peel back on the contesting, on the calling in contesting, on the trying to win tickets to concerts and shows. Just it's not the right time to do those kind of things. We're gonna get back to that eventually. People's headspace is gonna be back in that type of a thing. So yeah, most of our interaction is happening through our text message platform, through social media, a lot of DMs, a lot of Instagram Live type stuff. So yeah, again, like I was saying, most of the calls that do come in, or most of the people that I am talking to, it's a different type of a vibe. It's people who are, people driving to work because they have to go and stock the shelves at the grocery store. So conversations steered towards that. Or it's, I own a small business and I'm out as a delivery guy or girl because, fortunately, people are still ordering from our restaurant. So it's a lot less, hey, give me a shout out, I want to say what's up, or, what are you giving away, or those kind of things. It's changed a little bit, but I just think that it's because that's just the natural, that's the new normal for us, at least during this pandemic.
For sure. No, and it's really, really interesting to see that and listen to that. And, I've been tuning into shows across the country and hearing things like that. And it's super interesting to see.
It's different. Yep.
For sure. Okay, my mom has a quick bonus question for you.
Bring it.
Oh my God. She always has so many. She loves to help me, come up with questions and whatnot. But her bonus question is what your first impression of me is or was.
Well, I told you. Since my very first was, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'd like to pride myself on tapping into people who have the right passion, who have good character, who have a love for music and entertainment. I'm pretty sharp when it comes to that, and that was one of the things that I noticed from like day freaking one. And just to give you just like a really quick, and I can't remember I think I've told you about like some of the the stories of people who have either interned with me or like I'm probably 3 degrees of separation from a lot of on-air talent and people who have kind of moved on into our industry. My girl Alex, who was with Kiss FM for a while. Jesse Lozano has been a buddy of mine for years out of, he's in San Diego now, been homies with JoJo for years. EJ, I've known that kid when when we were bouncing back air check, things back and forth for a long time. Gosh, man, I've got interns who are now working at Apple Music and Spotify, who are managing bands. So like one of the things that really had me like, I was like, this is someone who is going to end up being like my boss one day, probably. That's just going to be the truth. And it's someone who loves it. And that's the thing. And that's what was like super impressive. So I just, you're a freaking superstar. I knew it since day one. And
I did get that tattooed on my body. So
I'm telling you, that's just what I felt since day dot. And I just wanted to just keep on telling you, doing things like this. You're taking it upon yourself to do these things. And not a lot of people, there's a lot of people who maybe want to, but don't. But you want to, and you are. And that's the difference. That's the difference. So, yeah, you're a rock star. You're a superstar. You're all those rolled up into one. So, I'm team Live for sure, dude. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you would like your listeners to know?
Your listeners to know.
My listeners, I'm sorry, yes.
Your thing right here. I guess at the end of the day, like seriously, and I'll talk to you even directly about this, it's gonna be all right. I'm dealing with the same mental anxieties of wanting to do things, but some days not feeling like you want to get out of freaking bed, and it sucks, but you know that you gotta, pull up by the bootstraps and just you gotta go in and do things. And it's difficult, especially in these times. And having gone through what I went through, especially being so close to this coronavirus pandemic and being in Italy and seeing how this whole wave has happened for us here in the States, I'm a firm believer in, and I think everyone who's going to answer this question will hopefully say, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. It's going to be tough, but I mean, it's we can do it, and that's just the hardest thing and let me be kind of like the poster child for that. I mean, I was there. I was on lockdown for 2 weeks, and it's not that bad, it's I'm coming in here and I'm wearing gloves all the time and keeping my social distancing, and if you do the right things, we're going to get through this faster, rather than longer. And there's going to be tough days. It's all right to feel that way. We're only human, and just if you can keep that idea somewhere tucked away in your brain that it's going to get better, then we'll be okay.
For sure. I love that. And how can people find you and your show? Plug all the socials.
Okay. All right. So let's go down the Z100. Obviously, you can tune in weeknights. If you're on Sirius XM listening anywhere in the world or in the country, I should say, with Sirius XM, tap in. I think we're channel 12. Yeah. Ooh, I'm about to burp. Let me see. What else? Me personally.
Yeah, plug yourself.
On Instagram, what am I? Instagram is in Maxwell's house, like Instagram, in Maxwell's house. Twitter, Maxwell's house. And if you feel so inclined to follow also on TikTok. Yeah, that Max. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that Max. So, yeah, that's me, but in everywhere, obviously, on our iHeartRadio app. So, boom.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining me.
This was awesome. Keep on doing this, please. I mean,
thank you. I so will.
Yeah, and have fun with it. I'm having fun with it. All of us from this side of the computer screen, we love and adore you, and the fact that you've been so driven and so passionate about this. I'm not the only one that you're going to come across having these conversations, that you've been able to tell Billy I said what's up. When you tap in with, when folks out in LA, tell them I say what's cracking. Holler at Raven, dude. Like, hit it up, dude. Go down the list, man. Everybody, we're on team Radio Crazy Girl for sure.
Thank you.
All right, crazy little knucklehead.
Well, thank you.
All right, girlfriend. You need anything, just shoot me a text, all right?
Awesome. All right.
And talk to you later.
Bye.